Okay, Pinehurst. That was what my father named the ranch. Pinehurst. There was another ranch connected to it, divided by a county road, that was called Palmyra. And there I am on my father's horse. The horse's name was Ken, and my father was just devoted to him, absolutely devoted to him.
You look like you're about three.
Three. Happy as a clam.
If you and my father had wound up together, you'd have had horses.
Oh gosh, we had horses.
I don't know who's swinging the camera around.
Well, probably my mother. But now Ken will follow him. It was, we had over 300 acres of fruit trees and lots of dogs. And this was the house where we were living when I was born, which was across the street from the house that we ultimately moved to. And this is still the ranch, so that's one of the places that he goofed a little bit.
Oh. Where was the ranch?
It's near Auburn, and it's still there. It's still painted the same color. It was bought ultimately by a company whose name I do not know in Los Angeles, and they used it for R&R for their employees.
Oh.
It was a big house, big Victorian house, single-story Victorian house.
Beautiful condition, too.
Yes, and a big lawn, and Kathleen was always in dresses, of course. And we had a lot of setters at that point, Irish setters.
I love the hair.
Straight. Friend of my father's from Boston who used to visit, his name was Dick Ives, and his wife Maud. And they used to come out about once a year.
Patient dog.
Very, very patient.
And chickens?
Chickens, oh yeah. Chickens.
Everything.
We had a cow. Turkeys, chickens. Oh, naughty little girl. Naughty, yeah.
You're talking to me? Wonder where Iris gets it.
I wonder. Don't do that.
Got Lola was back.
Very bad. Very bad. That's my mother
Ah,
with more dogs. Those were outdoor dogs.
Beautiful shape.
Yeah, they were pretty spoiled. Pretty spoiled.
Why did she like the Lola?
No, she didn't. I don't know why.
so this was still 1927?
1927 still. I think possibly the camera was new. So he was taking a lot of pictures.
I wonder if he ever thought in 2009 people would be watching.
I don't think he ever imagined. Oh yeah, this was a big deal. We would go up on weekends, and he'd ride all around the ranch and talk to the manager and so forth. And so when he was there on weekends, he had this big thing with the feeding the dogs out of this big enameled pan.
My God, look at them all.
Oh yeah. he thought they weren't, he had to have about 12 dogs, 8 or 12 dogs, to really feel that we had a proper number. We had one house dog that lived in Sacramento with us, but these were all outside dogs.
Oh, and it's being still pictured too.
Yeah, that's Dick Ives in the background. And the cats were really wild. Just wild.
I wish your dad would take his hat off.
Oh, he never took his hat off. He was bald.
Oh, my father.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's my pony, whose name was Buster. And, he was a stubborn little beast. He was marvelous. He was just marvelous, but he was stubborn.
Interesting markings.
Pinto.
Yeah.
Ooh. These are the Chinese gentlemen who did not speak. One of them spoke English. The rest of them spoke no English at all. And they lived in a big old 2-story house on the ranch and worked the fruit trees. Did all the pruning and the spraying and the... They lived alone. Their wives were all back in China.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no furniture in this house. No furniture.
None.
None.
Wow.
Turkeys, not wild. Those are domestic
Domesticated.
turkeys. And they're just, definitely free range. They were penned up at night because the coyotes would get them. And this is obviously winter time. Yeah, we've got a lame one there because the trees are all bare.
Well, and we have he's
Now,
advertising.
I'm a little older now. And I did love all those animals. I just... And I was terribly indulged, I realize. More?
Okay. Well, for all intents and purposes, you were an only child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, now there, that Saint Bernard puppy was given to me. This is Margaret. Her name was Margaret Allen. She was a Cockney, and she was at the ranch, or came to the ranch at the same time that my father bought it. He bought it before he was married to my mother, and I adored that dog.
That's the puppy that's grown up.
That's the puppy. He hadn't grown up yet. He's still a puppy.
Oh.
And he was a wonderful, wonderful dog.
You figured out the spoon routine.
Fabulous dog. So sweet. Margaret was a character. She had a real Cockney accent. She was something else.
Who was that with her?
That's Maud Ives, the
Oh,
the
Look at
wife of
this.
the...
Oh.
I know. And that's Joe. He was a Portuguese man, and he managed the house area and all the planting and the stuff around the house. Joe Acevedo, I think his name was. He had a little cottage on the place, and of course I wasn't permitted to go in his cottage at all. But he was totally indulgent. he let me watch him one day when he was killing a chicken, cutting the chicken's head off. That was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Maud Ives again. Buster.
There's Buster.
That must be my mother's horse.
What's the pony's name?
Buster.
Buster, that's right.
Now they're spraying the fruit trees for a dormant spray in the wintertime. And I realize now that this is, lethal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And these men just were exposed to it all the time. It just, today it curls my toes to think about it. And this spray machine was hauled around by two relatively small draft horses. There's a little beagle. There's Dick Ives again with... Oh, he gets to take home a little Christmas tree. Old friend of my father's from Boston. My grandmother.
She was nice.
Your
Aw.
great-grandmother.
Which one?
Right there.
No, I mean, what was her name?
Oh, Greg. Isabel Gregg.
That's Isabel.
That's
She stayed
Isabel.
at her house in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, I lived with
yeah.
her. My mother
She
and I
looks
lived with
like a
her
nice
during the war.
lady.
She was wonderful. She really was. This is 1422. This is where we lived before we moved across the street. And I think this is where the Easter party was that they were talking about, but now that's where
That's
we
across the
moved
street.
across the street. That's
Right.
1441.
We took some pictures of that the
It
last time
still
we were
looks
in
the same, I
Sacramento.
think,
Yes.
except that there's a fence around it now. That's my mother. Looks just like my sister.
And
And,
I thought it was.
which is
for-
which?
huh?
Your mother
My mother's on the right,
in the white.
and there's my father.
Oh, without a
But who
sad.
was
See,
the other
the other lady was, a friend of theirs. I can't give you her name.
Huh.
This is an Easter party that we had. All these children who are in this Easter party I grew up with. From this age on up through high school.
I love the clothes.
Aren't they wonderful?
Oh my god.
Aren't they wonderful? There's one lady in here, most of them are gone, but there's one lady in here, his name is Louise. There's Louise.
Oh, okay.
Louise Guard. She lives up in San Mateo now, but she and I still see each other.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really the only one that's left from this age group.
Wow.
Everybody else is gone.
That there were any that you're still in touch with. Oh, look at the sailor's outfit.
I know, those were twins. George and Van McKee. Both of them gone. Both of them gone.
But the little girl's haircuts.
I know, all the same, all the same.
All bowl.
Mm.
And Louise's bow. Oh.
I'm the one in the hat,
Oh. Because it's your party.
I guess. I don't know. There we go. And I knew all these children for, look at the twins. Typical. Kicking
Who's the
each
other
other.
boy there?
The other boy is Stanley Hart, who
He's a
lived
funny-
next door. He comes in later with the broom, remember? You'll see him with a broom.
I love Louise. oh
Isn't
my
she
god.
isn't she a kick?
There you go.
And we had a bunny, of course,
Oh.
because it was Easter.
How old are you on this one? Looks like this is before the other.
It does. It does.
3?
Probably. I would say probably we got the camera in 1927, and so those are the most pictures.
Somebody's nurse.
Mine. And that's the cook.
Who was the nurse?
I don't remember.
Mm.
I just don't remember. My mother never took care of anybody. And I can say that in all honesty.
Well, yeah. But I think that was very common for women
It was.
who had money.
Well,
you
her-
didn't.
My father was 15 years older than my mother when she was married. When they were
look.
married, yeah.
Oh,
On a
petting
horse.
your-
And that's before I had Buster, so I, came by it early. That's Suzanne. Bill will remember Suzanne. It's a little...
Oh, merry-go-round.
all these toys were mine.
God. I think we met Suzanne.
Mm-hmm. I know you
She
did.
lived in Carmel.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody stayed at her house for Pop's party.
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Stayed at Marilyn's house.
Oh, okay.
Not Suzanne's house.
Okay.
No, she wouldn't do that.
It's overwhelming. Oh, look at the... Oh.
Don't the rabbits ever bite?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I guess that one didn't. Now, you see the broom here, and this little boy whose name is Stanley Hart, he did live next door. A few days after this, we took that broom and we painted my father's car with house paint that was in the garage.
Oh, it looks like we're back up at the ranch.
Now,
There's Buster.
there's Buster saddled, and
Some young guy.
I think that's my brother-in-law.
John?
No, Frank.
Frank, I'm sorry.
Oh, here we are. Now I'm actually getting to ride Buster.
You're a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, I'm about
Wow.
8 maybe.
Make him go, make him go. I'm surprised he didn't buck you off.
Oh no, he never did that. He never did that. Whoa! Now, this used to drive me crazy because I wanted to go out and ride my pony wherever I wanted to go. And I wasn't permitted to do this. They had to follow me in an old pickup because he had a tendency to run away with me
Oh, look.
on a steady basis.
Buster did?
Buster used to run away with me all the time. And so they followed me, and
Just want to know where you went.
I
That's
know,
all.
but it just used to drive me nuts. Now, this was the little dog. This is Sugar, a little black cocker who lived in Sacramento with us. He was a sweet dog. Now, here are the two horses that pulled the wagon, the spray machine, through the orchard. But when they were not working, they were in a small corral in another area on the ranch. And I would take friends up there, and we would get on them because they were gentle and had a nice wide back. And we'd ride them around this corral ring and pretend we were circus riders. So we'd stand up and, you know, we'd do all these things. And they would put up with us for just so long. And then there was a big buckeye tree that hung over the corral fence. And they would just walk under the buckeye tree and wipe us off. It was wonderful. Crash. Now we're feeding
Feeding chickens
and again.
Those
and,
were the best fed chickens.
and then we're going to pick the chickens up and put them on top of Buster, who was also pretty indulgent most of the time. And the chicken eats the corn now off the top of Buster. And
The hands on the hip.
isn't it wonderful?
I mean,
This is mine.
yeah.
This is mine. I own this. This is mine.
I am the mistress of all I survey.
You got that. You have got that right.
And the leg up. Oh my God.
Oh, I know. I know. It's marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. I can take the bit off. I can take the halter off, the bridle, the whole thing. I could saddle him too, but I never was able to get the saddle tight enough because you have to cinch it up. And he would take a deep breath while I was cinching it up, and then he'd go, and then the saddle.
Well, Brownie used to do the same thing on Round Hill.
Yes, he did. Ponies have a way of doing that. But he was a sweet little guy. Now this is a trip down to Yosemite. And I remember that.
Angel Hair Falls.
I think that's Yosemite Falls. And we stayed at the Ahwahnee Hotel.
And that must have been quite a trip.
It was a lovely trip. It was very, very lovely.
When you see what they rode in, yes, it was quite a trip.
My mother and I are on the bridge, and Dad is saying, "Wave, wave.
This is a movie.
This is a movie. Do something."
Yes. Didn't spend all this money for you to stand still.
That's Half Dome. Must have been spring because the rivers are really, really running.
Sorry.
No, you have to put your foot up. There you go. Up now. Who's in charge here?
Now this is before the scene that we just saw with Brownie.
You think?
Because you look young right there.
I
I
don't
would say-
know.
That's nice.
Certainly the attitude is the same.
Oh yeah.
And there's my mother.
With her hat.
What? Oh yeah, well, we have a few bears and things.
Oh, you were in the car, I guess.
I
I
certainly,
think so.
I am assuming so.
That's why she's still here.
Yeah.
Look at the car.
Oh,
Isn't that
my.
marvelous? Isn't that marvelous? Do you think that's 1934?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's early 30s with that car.
all right.
I didn't know what kind it is.
Well, my father always drove a Lincoln, so if it was our car, it was probably a Lincoln.
A Lincoln? Could be.
No, but what is he in? Because he's taking it from something.
I don't know. Something on the back. That may have been the car in front of us.
Who
or something.
stayed behind and took the picture?
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what I was trying to figure out.
I don't know.
Oh.
They're different cars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people fed them all the time. And
There's
they
different falls.
chew
That's a
some-
different falls.
chew them
Bridal Veil.
Right.
Bridal Veil Falls. It had to be spring. Oh, I love this one.
Posing.
Look,
This is still there in Yosemite?
yes, we're still in Yosemite. Still Half Dome. still there. Still looks the same. Now, look at this.
Deer?
Look at this.
At least you know how to go up to a wild animal.
Honey, I knew everything about animals.
Yeah.
I really, really did.
They didn't mind you one little bit.
No? Mm-mm. I think that's pretty special.
I do too.
All right. Here's beloved 1441. Now, my parents have gone to Europe, which the East Coast in Europe, which they did every year on a business trip for my father. And now, see, this says only 34,
Birthday party.
and I don't.
It wasn't your 8th birthday in 34.
No, it wasn't. It was my 10th. But anyway, there I am. Now, my sister took pity on me because she thought my parents shouldn't have been gone over my birthday. So she decided to give a party, a birthday party. Now, these are all the same people who came to the Easter party in 1927. And there's my sister in the background, and there's Kathleen
Being cute.
being cute. And this was a great party. I mean, she really knocked herself out for this party.
Now, how much older is Edith than
She
you?
was 9 years older than I. So she's 19. And I'm 10. And there's one of the twins. I don't know what this was. I have no idea. But anyway, there's Edith.
Egg and spoon race.
Yeah, it's a spoon. Well, whoever the winner was. Whatever. There's George McKee. Oh, now we're going to have the big... I don't know.
And Edith running right out?
But she really was very dear. She was good to me.
That's because she was bigger and senior.
Do you realize that the boys have +4s?
Yes.
They're wearing +4s.
That's +4s.
+4s are
Was that the pants?
Short
Yes,
pants,
the pants.
yes, with
Golf pants.
yeah,
But-
exactly.
yes, with elastic or
Mhm.
ties
Well,
around
they
the
hook
mouth.
right below your knee.
Yeah.
And they hang down like you picked up long pants and tucked under.
Really
Now-
buckle your knickerbocker.
Now this is a cardboard concoction in the middle of the table with ribbons that go to everybody's place, and you pulled the ribbon and you got a little favor.
Oh,
She did go all out.
Oh,
didn't
she. This was at our house, 1441, and
and the hats.
oh, the hats, the poppers, I mean, it was the whole shebang. Just
Look at that thing.
yeah. It was remarkable.
It's a wasp pinata.
Yes, you're right. It was. It definitely was.
The food must be good. They're all sitting there very quiet
I
and eating it.
can't remember the food, but I certainly
Oh,
now
there's the
we have
cake.
the birthday
There we
cake.
are.
And you're cutting it before blowing out the candles.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's Miss Iris's smile.
yes! Oh my God!
I'm so cute.
Yes, it's my birthday.
That's funny.
I'm adorable.
It's so funny. All these children. Mm.
Pretty nice pictures for inside.
Yeah, they were. Now I've graduated from Buster, and I have a new horse now, which I was given at Christmas time.
Shall I go turn down the artichokes a little bit?
Oh yes, thank you. Down to between
Medium and low.
Yes, thank you. And she really, oh, she was a lovely creature. Just a lovely creature.
It says you're 8 then.
Well, I was not 8. I was
No,
about 30.
10, I mean. 10.
No, I wasn't 10. I was
You're-
maybe 12.
I
It said
thought you-
34, but
I
I
thought
don't
you
think.
were
I don't
older
think it
than
was
that.
34 either.
Well, then you got the date
But you
wrong.
know, it's close enough. Okay, now here's the manager of the. Everybody gets to ride my new horse, which really kind of ticked me off, but that's right. But this is the manager of the ranch, Mr. Lachlan. Very nice man. Very nice man. And I had no choice in this horse. My father picked her out, and she had been a trotter on the racetrack,
Oh.
and so she was being retired. And I'm sure he got her for a good price, but she had one fault. She wanted to be ahead. If I was riding her alone, there was absolutely no problem at all. She was marvelous. She'd go anywhere, do anything. My sister and her dog. And, but if there were 2 horses or more, she had to be ahead. Now see, she's really pushing it here.
She's ahead, just a little bit.
Yeah, but he's got her really reined in.
Yeah.
Anyway, my father's Doberman Pinscher. Anyway, now she's been on the ranch for a while and not ridden much, and she's been outside and she's all faded out, and she's gotten too fat.
Don't want too fat.
But anyway, she was a great horse, and I had her until my father died. Aha! Now we move really ahead here.
Yeah. I'm getting a horse, now I've got a kid.
I know. And there's this big blank in
Oh,
between,
look at
and
you.
there is your son.
Yeah. And Doug. We just can't
Yeah,
see
in
Doug.
here. He's just not here yet.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, he's-
Oh, look at you.
He's so shy. And who is that young man?
Who is that handsome man?
Who is
Yeah.
that handsome young man?
Been so long ago I forgot.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
Mm, mm, mm.
Oh,
I did it.
Oh, he was so sweet. What a sweet young guy he was.
no, he's a
Just
sweet old guy.
so dear. Just. Mm.
Oh,
Oh.
dear.
Fly shackers.
You know, yes, fly shacker, and they don't have that anymore.
Fly shacker? What's that?
That was the zoo. The San Francisco Zoo was called Fly Shacker Zoo.
Very close to
Oh.
that
And you
house.
know, you're a brave little thing to get in this car and have the door closed and go,
Roundy round.
mm,
He still likes to do the merry-go-round. The carousel, whatever it is.
Ferris
Ferris
wheel.
wheel. I knew I'd come up with the word.
Oh, you walked down from the house, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you drove?
No, we had to get on the bus.
Oh,
Look at this. Oh my God.
Little coat.
Love the pants.
Short.
well, it's a nice
Or
little
long.
train.
Remember
This
that?
is, this is
Nice
the
train.
origin of my love of trains.
Yes, exactly. It's just a little miniature steam engine, and it's so cute.
Looks identical to the one up until
I'm sure
it may be the same one.
it could be.
Good looking train.
Because they don't have it at Fly Shacker anymore. Now, these are your cousins, Leslie Ann and John Center, my sister's 2 children.
We put in CO2 cartridges,
CO2 cartridge.
punched
Yeah.
the hole, and some of them worked and some of them didn't.
Some
That
of them
worked.
went and some
That
of them
really
didn't.
worked.
I remember this.
Do you
Oh,
really?
they were fun.
Yeah, stretch a string out. It had 2 little.
There he is.
Oh, God.
Is that cute or
That
what?
is Will.
Is that cute?
Oh, there we are, Bernie.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
Bernie, that's-
Haddon Drive.
Haddon Drive, yeah. That was a nice house.
101
What town?
San Mateo,
San Mateo.
where your brother Douglas was born.
Douglas was born, yes.
Our
What?
friends Carl
Is that a
and Helen
Hudson?
Fuller.
No.
Our friends Carl and Helen Fuller, who lived down the block, were the ones who were responsible for getting us here. I'm in the dark coat and the preggy dress. I'm on the left. Carl and Helen are on the right. I'm saying, don't take my picture. So Douglas was born in
That was a good house.
when we lived in this house. Carl and Helen lived down the block. And we were there for 3 years, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We planted some flowers or veggies in the backyard. I had to take a pick and a hammer to drill a hole. This used to be a salt flat.
Here's
Oh.
San Francisco from Twin Peaks
Yep,
Oh, wow.
in 1940.
something or other.
Seven or 48. Doesn't look
Numbers are
like that
better
anymore.
today.
Complete with the fall.
You see the Bay Bridge,
That's a Bay Bridge.
and then you get all the way around to the Golden Gate.
What, there's no Transamerica Tower?
No,
Or is that?
no, that's Coit Tower.
Is that Coit Tower
That's
right?
Coit
The
Tower,
white one
right
the
there.
in the
white
middle?
thing.
Yeah.
Right there. That's Coit Tower.
There's
And
Bay
there's
Bridge. No,
Golden
San
Gate.
Francisco.
Golden Gate Bridge. That looks the same.
Yeah. All right. Now this is a trip. This is a trip to North Carolina in the
Smoky
Smokies
Mm.
in the spring, and I want to tell you that stream was icy cold. And there's Douglas, who couldn't wait to go and get wet in these little underpants. And we have Holly with us. And it was cold, but it was pretty. It was very
We
pretty.
had snowflakes one night.
Oh,
didn't
that
we?
was up on the ridge on the way home.
But it was still, it was the same area.
Yeah, same
we had
trip.
to
Same trip.
Eat
trip.
canned beans or something for
Oh,
supper that
God,
night.
it was so cold.
Oh, man, that was awful. I remember it.
Playing with fire.
Playing with fire, of course. What?
Yeah.
Who? What? Who, me?
This old, heavy, ex-army tent.
Well, that was a toughie.
We had fun.
At least we're on a
Holly.
platform.
We had fun. We really did have fun. And Dad decided to shave.
Yeah, well. What can I say?
What can you say? We had lots of fun on those camping trips. We
They did.
really
They're
did.
great sport. A lot of work, but that's when you're
Yeah.
younger, so it's all right.
The ubiquitous paper towel.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still shaving.
You know, I think I still have that check tablecloth. I know I do.
I think we do.
I know I do.
Yes, we do.
Probably.
That's our picnic table.
That's our picnic tablecloth.
They last for 100 years.
A little trip to a, a little waterfall someplace.
Same old area.
Yeah, I remember that trip, and I can remember Pop driving down the road with the window down so we could follow the white line
Oh,
because it was so
it
foggy.
was terrible. It was terrible.
Look at Holly.
Now this, I think I've made a mistake earlier. I think this is a trip to New England. I think this is because we're going to see
This is-
Boston pretty soon.
this is the
I think
kettle?
this is Vermont or New Hampshire.
Wasn't Baxter? Because they had the.
Oh no.
There was something like this at Baxter.
No, Baxter's something else again. No, this is because I'll tell you what's coming up next is the Constitution. So this is Vermont or New Hampshire. This is Smuggler's Notch or something like something
we did
similar.
go through Smuggler's
Yeah, we
Notch,
did.
didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We took. Well, you see, here's the log jam up in Kennebec in Maine.
There we go.
So this was a New England trip. I'm
We kinda
sorry.
jumped around a little bit.
It wasn't. It wasn't the North Carolina trip. This is New England. We took an awful lot of camping trips, so
We did.
I could be forgiven for mixing them up.
Oh, yeah.
We certainly did.
But see,
Yeah,
here's
here's
the
Constitution.
Constitution.
Okay.
So we're back in Boston now.
Yep.
And Money, your grandmother Waggoner, is staying home and taking care of Scott.
I wondered where Scott was.
Yeah, well, he was home and Money was there.
Having a ball.
Bless her heart.
So when do you suppose this was? 54, 55?
Oh,
No, Scott
no.
was born in
53.
53, so this has got to be 55.
Okay.
That's what I said.
You said 40 something.
No,
No,
54.
he said
54, 55.
Oh, I'm sorry, I turned it around in my head.
Oh, look at the sailors.
Yeah. You know, I'm wondering, can you do this on the Constitution anymore? Can you
I
climb
think you
around like
can.
that?
Yeah.
I think you can.
It's still a museum.
Okay.
Oh, I love your outfit.
I
The sweater set.
I never, ever wore pants.
No.
Unless it was blue
Well,
jeans.
they didn't.
You didn't.
We didn't.
Not till
We
you-
didn't. We had to wear dresses.
My mother had a whole bunch of cotton dresses.
Mm.
I
Absolutely.
think they might have given up taking a Constitution out and sailing it around.
No,
like
they
used
haven't.
to.
We saw
they do it.
something recently where they do it
They
once a
turn it
year.
around.
They still do it. Okay.
They do
Oh,
it
right,
once a
Chris.
year.
Wright's Gristmill, that's
Yeah.
Vermont.
Yeah.
Look at you being cool.
Looks like almost 900.
Because he's the oldest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where he belonged.
Sturbridge.
That is
Sturbridge Village.
Was that
Sturbridge,
Sturbridge?
Sturbridge
Is
Village.
Wright's Gristmill on
No,
Sturbridge?
I don't know, but it was
Yes, it
Sturbridge
is.
Village.
That's
Right.
Sturbridge.
Yeah.
Right, sis.
It is Sturbridge.
There's the oxen.
There's
And the
Oh,
covered
the
bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
Then
still
you
go to
wear your
Sturbridge.
skirt.
Oh, we love Sturbridge. I love
And
Sturbridge
Holly.
today. Yep, Holly.
Except now you can't. You have to take a mortgage out to get into Sturbridge.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like 30
Really?
bucks.
Well, that's too bad.
But,
But it
I
must.
have to say, they have kept the place up.
Well,
It's still
now-
very
Oh,
interactive.
look at that.
here is Scott Lawrence in all his glory
On Round Hill Road.
on Round Hill Road, and
And
your
there's mine.
sainted grandmother Waggoner.
Now, there's something about Odrin that makes me think of Scott at
It's
this
the
age.
curly red hair
And the
Well,
fat
and the
cheeks.
shape.
and the yeah.
And the shape.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, there's some family resemblance there.
Mhm.
There really is.
Is that the porch? Is that in front of the porch?
That's the
Trying to
porch.
figure out
That's
where
the
it is.
steps up to the.
Oh, the steps up to the porch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. A few, not many.
Scott.
He was such a. Oh, do you want an easy baby,
Well,
Scott? Oh my God.
that's Zoe.
Okay, now this is Doug's birthday, and we've gone up to a little petting zoo in Norwalk, and Donnie Hennington, of course, is along. I think that's the only outside friend.
There's Donnie.
There's Donnie. There's Scott.
He's maybe 4.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah. There's something there that has 4 legs, but
There's a couple of deer.
okay.
Oh, look at Scott with the bunny.
Mm,
He still looks like that.
I know he
Little
does.
kit.
I know he does. Little Kit Fox.
Merry-go-round. Nice one too. I wonder whatever happened to it.
I wonder. I wonder. Mm.
And you're getting
There's
tall.
there's Will.
Mhm.
There's Bill.
And
There's Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
Doug with his thumbs in his hands.
Mm.
Donnie with the hands on the hip, and Doug with his thumbs in his.
You know, I have to say this though. They were good kids.
We all were.
They were good
They
kids.
really were.
They really were.
We enjoyed a good wrestle every once in a while.
Well, I know, and a good nosebleed and that kind of thing, but basically, I think you were good kids.
Scott is just one to another.
Oh yeah, and then there was the kittens.
Yeah, but how cute.
The unprepared for kittens. Mm. Lord, we did have one of
But
everything.
they came at the right time, though.
Well, yeah. We got rid of them. Ah.
Oh.
Heaven on earth.
Yeah,
Heaven
now we
on
need
earth.
bagpipe music for the background.
Now we do. We really, really do need that.
Have to need some.
This was held always on the there's
On the
Douglas
4th of July.
4th of July.
Isn't that Jesse on the right?
No, I think it's Tina
Okay.
and a collie, which they had. Anyway, it was always held on the 4th of July weekend, and so in June, the pipers would get out in the fields to start practicing.
It was right behind our house where
Yeah.
we lived.
And we could hear them. And they'd come kind of late in the day and they'd practice. And I'd think, oh, I can hear pipes. I can hear pipes. Oh my gosh, it was so
In the
wonderful.
square.
It was so wonderful. Oh, I love pipes.
I'm looking to see
Mm-hmm.
if Mr. McAllister is there or Mr. McHale.
I wouldn't. This is in.
You can relax. There's lots of.
This is
Well-
in the early 50s. Early 50s.
Mr. McHale lived
I gotta
next to
go.
us, and
I
he
gotta go poke my.
was he chaired them for years.
They were They played this game since the 20s, I think.
It's still going on, but it's in
but
Norwalk.
It's not the C.A. Moore place.
No, it's in
C.A. Moore's had them out there in the 20s.
a girl piper.
And they kept, every year they'd come back. And we were lucky to be there for a while.
Remember burning the fields off
Oh,
before
yeah.
these?
Clean them before, and
Yep. Fire department come out and burn off the
even
fields.
so, I saw all kinds of people sitting up against the fence right in the poison ivy.
Yeah.
I don't know how they made it out the next day, but I don't know why we did so much of this. You know, one or two would have been fine.
Well, especially because there was no sound.
No sound.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew who they were.
Well, that's why if I recognize my neighbor, at least we'll know one.
You what?
If I recognize our neighbor, we'll at least know one.
Okay. You won't recognize him?
I might.
Okay. He was there?
He was a piper, and he
Right.
taught piping. He always marched the fields in back of us before the games.
That's always nice.
And
That's when they're best out in the field, especially in the fog. It's magic. It really is. It's great music.
yeah. Oh, our kids hate it. We used to drag them to piping things, and they just oh.
I'm sorry you had to do your own.
No. I wanted to check the chokes. Not quite done yet, which is just perfect.
Yeah.
Look,
Well, we can
look
always-
at the legs on this.
Oh,
How
yeah.
is this?
Isn't it marvelous? These skinny old bow-legged things.
Okay, and
Bunky Moore and current girlfriend.
Really?
Bunky Moore was Bettine's nephew.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Did you ever know Bunky Moore?
No, but we knew Bunky's sister.
No, he didn't have a sister.
What was she?
Mm-mm.
Christine's friend.
Mm-mm.
Didn't Bunky go to Maine?
Yes, but that was an Adams.
Bunky, okay.
Adams. It wasn't Bunky.
Oh my God.
It was Tracy.
was that your friend?
No, they didn't run. They did the caber.
Oh, he did the caber.
Yeah, they played soccer.
He must have been pretty husky.
Sword dance.
I wish I could see the faces.
This is now called the massed bands.
Mhm.
When all the bands who had competed in this contest at the end of the games
Got together.
all got together and they marched down the field all playing the same tune. And I'll tell you, if you didn't have goosebumps,
It was pretty magic.
you didn't have any Scottish in you anywhere.
Very magic.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful.
That's
When I watched Braveheart for the first time, I remembered a lot of that.
Oh. I found that because I watched it too. I wanted to see it. I thought it was extremely violent.
Yes,
Yes.
And I
but
didn't,
so were they.
I know they were, but I guess that's something I didn't want to see.
Yeah. Better to be prettied up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
See, we never went to the games. My
Oh.
father was always working.
Gosh, they
Oh,
were
that's
so
right.
marvelous. They were so marvelous.
And Mr. McHale would bring us back, or Mrs. McHale would bring us back haggis as a treat.
Well, you know, I had haggis recently. Now that's Sandy Close.
Yeah.
And Douglas, of course.
Trying to do something to Sandy he doesn't want done.
Did he do the picture of the dog up here?
He did.
Yes.
That was for him?
It says Drummond, which is his middle
Yeah.
name. But,
God, these bands came from all over the
oh,
place.
they did.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it was a
Several from
big
Canada.
thing.
They
Big
still
deal.
do.
Yeah, I guess so.
We go to the Goshen Scottish Games. Try to go there every year. It's the first Saturday in October.
Oh, October.
Yeah, and they come from all over the place.
Wow.
And a lot of the athletes do this for a living. Or something, I don't know. But they're in games all over the country.
Everywhere, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're required to wear a kilt.
Absolutely.
Did you see the pictures that came on the internet recently about what Scotsmen wear under their kilt?
No.
Well, we've always known it was
Well,
nothing.
We'll
We've
look 'em
never
up.
seen pictures of it before.
Oh, really?
I didn't send that to you?
No.
No.
I will see if
I
you still
thought I
have it.
had. Okay. It's in there somewhere.
Well, they wear spandex athletic
They wear bike
Shorts.
shorts.
biking shorts.
Well, not these guys. These are in England and they
Oh,
don't
well.
wear nothing.
All these guys out there on the field.
And the wind was blowing and there they
I've
are.
got pictures of some of these guys.
Do you remember Alec Duncan?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
He wore World War One.
He wore a kilt because
They were
he was in the Scottish Highlanders.
Every time they had a rest, it was on a hillside, so they all had to sit with their feet down, spread out. The sergeant would walk by and make sure that they were dressed properly. And the only time they allowed them to put undies on is when they got in around mustard gas.
I never asked Mr. McHale what he wore under his
I don't
kilt
think he wore anything.
because I never. Well, he was old when I was.
It didn't make any difference. I don't think
No.
they were anything.
But I wouldn't have asked him because I was
Of
little and
course
he
you
was
wouldn't.
an
Of
old
course
man.
you would.
I would guess if these guys are properly dressed.
I would think
we saw
so.
'em.
I would think so.
My friend Victor
Today,
said
no.
that I don't know him well enough to find out.
Oh, you just have to imagine
Oh yeah.
the sound
Oh, the sound was great.
involved with this. I mean, it just is so stirring. You cannot imagine.
I'll have to see if I can.
That's it.
And
That
it's done.
is
Wow,
the
that
end
was
of
quite
it.
good.
See,